Seagulls are one of the most underrated predator birds that have outstanding hunting skills. In fact, the appetite of these birds is legendary. They can eat food weighing up to 20% of their body mass in a day. Do you think a seagull can swallow a crab whole? Have you seen a seagull swallowing an octopus? Well, if you haven't, then strap in, as we bring to you 23 moments of seagulls eating and swallowing their prey whole. Pigeons. A bird eating a bird may seem like cannibalism to us, but seagulls do that often. Here, you see a gull picking on a pigeon. Yes, even though the bird doesn't resemble a pigeon, we can assure you it is. After picking at it for some time, the seagull decides that it has had enough and starts to gulp it down whole. That's what you have to do when you lack teeth. Unlike the last one, this pigeon is still flapping its wings even though the gull has caught it. All of its attempts at escape fail miserably, however. The attacker doesn't look like it's in any hurry to chomp down on the prey. It calmly crosses the road and moves using the sidewalk, almost as if it is any other pedestrian going about its day. A mother pigeon is in the process of feeding her baby when it is interrupted by a huge seagull. The mother makes no attempt to protect her child or fly away with it. Instead, she bails, leaving the defenseless pigeon baby all alone to face off against the gull. This pigeon surely doesn't deserve the Mother of the Year award. The seagull walks up to the baby, picks it up, and flies away to enjoy the meal in some peace and quiet. This time, there isn't just one pigeon, but a whole host that the seagull can choose from. It looks as if the hunter is looking for the plumpest of the lot before it sinks its beak into the prey. Finally, when it does choose the bird to go after, this seagull is absolutely relentless. We wonder why the rest of the pigeons didn't come to the comrade's aid. Regardless, the gull will surely enjoy the delicious lunch. Fish. You can't talk about seagulls eating without a clipping of it chomping down on fish. In this first one, the fish is laid out near the bird's feet. It starts to gulp it down head first. The fish vanishes inside its mouth within seconds. You really can't differentiate between this seagull and a magician making things disappear. While seagulls usually hunt alone without any help, sometimes they receive aid without asking for it. Guillemots go under the water to force fish towards the sea surface. Gulls cannot dive into the water to fish and can only grab a fish or two if they are close to the surface. So when the guillemots help, the fish come close enough to the surface, and opportunistic gulls can swoop down and pick a couple of the fish and fly away. The swooping down and fishing technique is still impressive. Look at the following clip, where the water is covered in ice, but the seagull is still able to locate fish in a melted patch of water. With lightning-fast reflexes, the bird flies down and dips its beak in the water. With that one movement, it catches the fish and then flies away. No matter the weather conditions, these birds are equipped to handle anything. Crabs. You think crabs with their hard shell covering would be absolutely safe from the seagull assaults, but you'd be wrong to assume so. You see, these birds are equipped with exceptionally strong beaks that can snap bones. It is no wonder then that the seagull can easily penetrate the hard outer shell of crabs to get at the succulent meat. In this one, the bird repeatedly pokes the crab and then completely severs its legs. With no teeth, the bird can't chew on any of it, but it does swallow the legs, shell and all. Then it picks the meat clean off from inside the main body. Soon, you see only the shell remains, one an efficient eater. This next crab is sunbathing on the beach when the seagull comes out of nowhere and literally digs it out of the sand. The crustacean tries to fight back using its razor-sharp and strong pincers, but the bird knows just what it needs to do. It tips the crab on its back, and now the animal is completely defenseless. This seagull doesn't look like it's in any hurry to consume the crab's meat. It drags the prey towards the water and then takes an occasional peck at it. Unlike the last bird, this one doesn't quite like the crab legs it looks like, as it only eats the meat from its body. Rabbits. But fish aren't the only animal these gulls crave. In fact, they seem to have a particular liking for fresh rabbit meat. In this one, the rabbit is already dead, and the gull must now figure out a way to fit the entire corpse inside its mouth. Well, it seems to be of barely any convenience, as the bird swallows the head side of the bunny first and uses its throat movements to slide the rest of the body. Look at those rabbit legs dangling from its mouth. And this isn't a one-off case either. Here too, the gull was successful in catching and killing a bunny. We thought bunnies were really difficult to catch. Nevertheless, this poor rabbit meets the same fate as the last one. In fact, it is eaten in exactly the same manner, with its hind legs jutting out of the seagull's mouth at one point. As if eating those adult rabbits weren't enough, this gull decides to dig into a baby bunny, and it's still alive when the gull catches it. After repeated strikes with its sharp beak, the rabbit baby falls limp. As soon as the fight's over, the gull wastes no time, and within a few seconds, the bunny vanishes from sight and into the bird's stomach. Octopus. Octopus aren't easy prey since these creatures have several defense mechanisms. Moreover, octopus are known to kill and eat seagulls. Still, the bird doesn't care about the dangers involved. It badly wants to taste seafood today and somehow catches a big octopus. Even though the prey has no fight left in it, the bird has failed to account for one thing. Octopus tends to be extremely slimy, and gulping one down isn't as easy as swallowing a rabbit, especially if the octopus is of this size. After a few failed attempts, we're sure this gull realized that it was a terrible idea. But seagulls don't seem to face as much difficulty when eating smaller octopus. In this one, the bird pecks at the sea creature for a while, before gulping it down in one go. It seems the last seagull failed because it was just too greedy and went for the biggest octopus it could get its beak on. Here too, the gull decides to chomp down on some delicious octopus. Just watch how the tentacles hang from its mouth as it tries to fit the animal inside. Well, looking at it, we are reminded of people gulping down noodles. Maybe octopuses act as similar foods for these birds. Duckling. As we said before, seagulls have no problem preying on other birds. Here, a duckling seems to be separated from its family, and it's a dangerous situation to be in. The seagull calmly swims up to the small duck and grabs it. Then it flies away. We wonder where the duckling's parents are. They could have intervened and saved the child. The bigger bird wrings the duckling's neck a couple of times, most likely severing its spinal cord. Then, with incredible speed, the gull swallows it down. This duckling meets the same fate, as it is snatched from between its brothers and sisters. Again, our question is, why weren't the adult ducks intervening to protect these children? The seagull doesn't even bother to kill this duckling and gulps it down while it's still struggling for its life. What a brutal death. Starfish. Crabs and octopuses aren't the only sea creatures that seagulls are fond of. These birds have a particular liking for starfish. These creatures lack any form of defense against gulls and must provide enough nutrients to the birds. This seagull, for instance, found the starfish and was absolutely not ready to share it with any of its friends. When they tried to take it from him, the seagull evaded them and then quickly swallowed what seemed like a delicacy. Once again, it's surprising how the seagull faced almost no issue in gulping down the starfish, even though it is shaped so oddly. The same cannot be said for this fellow though. It looks like this seagull tried to feed on the starfish too, but couldn't quite manage the perfect angle to gulp it down. The prey remains visible in its open mouth for quite a while. The gull tries desperately to shift the starfish inside its throat in such a way that it can swallow the meal effectively. After a long time, it is finally able to get it down its throat. You have to admit, it's funny to see that it isn't just humans who have a lot of difficulty eating seafood. Rat. Rodents are another matter altogether. They're easy to catch and easier to eat, as the seagull proves. It walks proudly with a rat held in its mouth to a secluded spot. Once there, it doesn't waste any more time to enjoy the meal. 2 gulps, and the dead rat goes straight through its throat and into its stomach. Snake. Well, devouring rats and bunnies is one thing, but a snake? Surely seagulls wouldn't be able to hunt snakes, you say? Well, how about this video then? The snake is still very much alive, and even raises its head several times as a warning. But it does almost nothing to scare the hungry bird. In fact, the seagull seems even more determined to tear the snake's flesh apart. The fearless bird not only continues the attack, but goes straight for the snake's head. What a total badass. Puffins. Puffins are cute birds with colorful beaks that you wouldn't want to ever harm. But seagulls don't really care about their adorable factor. Instead, these hunters only care about taste, and puffins, unfortunately, taste good enough for the gulls to target them. This bird, for instance, has pounced on the unsuspecting puffin, and like most other meals, swallows the smaller bird whole. Judging by the size of the puffin that it eats, it must have been a heavy meal. Bat. Speaking of badasses, what about this seagull? He stands on the roof like a comic book vigilante. And then, what do you think it eats? Yes, the seagull catches and consumes 5 little bats, one after another. Well, someone needs to convey to him that eating the poor bats won't turn him into the Caped Crusader. Then again, this seagull could don the identity of a masked superhero, Batbird. Thank God these birds aren't any bigger, or they would have swallowed humans whole too. What did you think about the seagulls' hunting techniques? Let us know in the comments section below. If you enjoyed the video, drop a like and share it with friends and family. You should also go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so yet. Hit the bell icon to receive instant updates from our channel in the future. Stay safe, and we'll see you in the next one.